Good evening, everyone. I'm Teddy, and it's 10:30. I thought I would be on by 10:15, but I decided to go ahead and just take my shower and relax for, about 20 minutes. And I did that. So, welcome back to the Bear Cave. Shout out to the mob, all my other bears. I call the Grizzlies and the Honey Bears. No music right now, just the stars. Yeah. How's everyone tonight? I'm good. I'm good. Let's see. I've got my Gatorade here. I do. Sound is good. Good evening to both my moderators, Baby Juju and Vicky Black. I see both of you along with Miss Vaughn. Yeah, you know what? I don't know if I'm going to play music tonight or not. And I really um, haven't given it the kind of thought that sometimes I do just before I come on. You know what I want to talk about? It's night talk. Um, yeah. And I said I wasn't going to talk about, what went on in the other chat. And maybe by me saying that is talking about it. I don't think so. But, and then, while I was relaxing, I thought about it a little bit more and said, well, if I'm going to say anything, let me just at least tell people that I accepted an apology. So start with that. And so people know, moving forward. Um, and then I just want to say this. Um, so I didn't know Kimmy was on, and I guess it was kind of I would say when I looked at the not the time, but you know how you can see how long someone's been on their chat. I remember specifically it was like 80 minutes. 80 it was like 80 maybe 88 minutes. And when I actually started listening to her. And I said, wow, it's been an hour and almost a half. I've missed it, you know? So I said, let me listen to what she has to say. And then as I was listening to the conversation, it was at the point where Kimmy was given the information and she tried to look it up. And I just knew, surely, while I'm listening, that she would be able to find it because it was, Pacer. And then when Kimmy said, I didn't find it either, I'm like, I wonder what number she actually put in because I didn't know what number she was given. And so my response was to Kimmy. It was like, type, here's the case number, type this in. And it went from there. That's it. I thought that that would have gone rather quickly at that point. Yeah, You know, At that point, it could have been just put it in. But then I realized that she said, eh, she wasn't going to get in between, although she had already attempted. So I, you know, that part, I'm like, okay. So it was like a second time that I don't get to, establish, you know, right there that could have confirmed it. But then later someone did. And yeah. So um, just in general, another thing I want people to understand, just in general, about going up on panels, I rather not. And I think that my decision not to, I think was better for me because I think it could have, really gotten into, more. Because when I think about how much I really, typed and all, even just typing responses in a chat, that was more than I think I've ever, well, maybe in a live chat, except I do remember a chat um back in 2022 when I was being accused of something and I jumped on and I was typing in the chat. That was early on and I didn't um fully understand, you know. So my response when I was doing this back in 2022, it was it really was never acknowledged, and so it was to no avail. Then, gee, I yeah, it was like someone is saying this is what I said, talking about me back in 22, and I like no. And I was trying to, make the correction, but it went nowhere. I guess I should have learned. Um, Not meaning that this didn't go anywhere. I think it did. But the part where, I typed a little too long, a little too much. So we all learn. We do. Yeah. Um, you can email me right now at unwinewithteddy@gmail.com. Um, Again, there's no music right now. Just the stars. There was a huge earthquake today in Venezuela. I think it was like over 7.5, and the damage seems to be widespread. I had just finished looking at that and started to go into the detail. So I was on YouTube, and I was looking at another channel that I frequent, and it's a gentleman that does on breaking news topics that I would be very interested in. Talks about politics and again the breaking news, and that's where I heard it from. So I haven't finished looking on it. I did kind of scan CNN, but that was oh gosh, it had to be. Now I'm looking at the time. I don't know, a couple of hours or so ago, and Wow, there's a lot happening. A lot. But I'm glad I took my shower because one, it it kind of helped me relax. Yeah, and well, it wasn't that I wasn't relaxed. And at one point, I put a couple of little smiley. They weren't smiley faces. They were kind of laughter, I guess. I was looking for the one for the laughter. I think that was what I pulled, but um, how people get on these panels. That this is what I was trying to say with the amount that I typed in. How people get on panels and talk and go back and forth. I would probably, if I participated in things like that often, my head would be like, ooh, I don't necessarily say pounding because I don't really get headaches. I haven't really been given to headaches all my life. I've had a headache before, um, but I don't typically get headaches. And for those who do, oh my goodness, I I when I have treated someone who has come into my office when I was doing that, I I did everything I could to give them relief because migraine headaches and all there are different types of headaches a person can experience, but migraines especially, a person who experiences a migraine, they want to get into a place or where it's dark. You want dim the lights, be quiet, and some um, require, you know, just to get the pain to subside, um, an injection, and and I know I've helped a many person, and even received the biggest hugs. Yeah, these are the things that people don't know. Um, what I have experienced, I have had patients come back with bouquets of flowers. I remember this one woman. I took a picture with her, and it was actually a life and death situation. And she came back and said that I saved her life. She had was experiencing a crisis, an aneurysm, and we got her immediately in treatment. And I do remember this about that situation. I held her hand and I did pray with her. And that's the part for me, you know, I did. I did say a prayer. And even though I'm, in medicine and all of that, I know someone who ultimately heals. It's not just, you know, God uses, physicians, doctors, nurses, healthcare workers, emergency, you know, but when someone is facing a crisis like that and they don't have, their family with them, mhm, you know, I just have always hoped if something like that happened to me that someone would be there, even if it isn't family, because sometimes things can happen to people and they might be by themselves. So, um, yeah, she came back She wrote a nice long letter in a card, and I still have it. I do. She's not the only one that I have received, you know, letters and just things, and um, people who have said, gee, I wish you were my doctor. Can I come back? Um, and to think that's where I belong. It's I'm in a situation right now that has spilled over into my real life. And I need to protect um, myself and others from any harm that could come to them. hmm And the situation, again, that I'm facing is it's serious. Yeah. And I just hope that I can get back to what I really um, love, full time. And because I'm not going to discuss what I've been doing, you know, um, and or everything that I have seen and has happened to me um, over a period of time. So I deal with it, you know, and it's one day at a time. hmm And it's very important to me. And what I do and say on this platform, it is a reflection of, you know, of who I am. Sometimes we don't always make, you know, the best decisions. No one does. But I hope that things that I've done, um, no matter where I am, and that includes on this platform, that I do it with a level of respect, not just for the other person, but for myself as well, because I am professional and um, I'm in a situation that I never thought I would be in at this time in my life, and I'm here. I'm here, and I have to think it's for a reason. Yeah. And one thing I'm here for, you know, for all of you and for those who come to my platform. And, you know, I'm sure even in today, you know, I could have on some level, I don't know if the word is disappointed anyone, but expect maybe just, something, we'll just call it something different. Okay. We learn. And Um, I have said that, people are always watching and listening and looking for an opportunity. And it was that point for me that I was, either attempting to make or remind. It's that part. Mhm. Yeah, because people are looking, and I'm talking about, legally in my case, for and every opportunity. And a lot of people haven't read the case and know what's inside and things that have been said. And a lot of content creators who have actually been introduced and brought into the case, not by me, but by, um, you know, the other side. And um, little do people know how it's being done, and trying to, um, attach certain things that people have done. And I'll use one example. And I've mentioned this one before, so I'll just mention it. King World. All right. Maybe I maybe I mentioned this, but I may have not mentioned this part. So what was done is an audio from King World was taken, and multiple different audios. I could tell it wasn't one, continuous audio. And I had never heard this part, but King World appeared to be, um, it seemed very argumentative. I know it wasn't between myself, but it seemed like there was some subtle, um, I don't want to characterize it, but it wasn't just the language, but it was like leading into something that could be thought of consequences. I'll just put it like that. And that was offered to the court in part of her filing, and used to try to support a protective order against me. So, do you maybe understand? Or maybe you see, that's my perspective. So, that's just one example. So, when I'm listening to what people are saying, as it either could relate to the case or something that I think she might, latch on to, and, you know, try to twist the narrative or create a narrative. All right. Offer it to the court. See, I know for a fact that what I heard on that tape that was um, uh, put with a filing, though the court hasn't heard it, it's there. People can click onto it. And that's what I'm talking about. Everything that, whether it's true or not, if it's used and put into a filing, it's permanent. It remains there unless the court would strike it for some reason. But um, all of those things are there. And I don't know who might read the case from anywhere in the world. It's online, it's public, and it may not have gained much traction right now or no, but I never know who's going to come across it, because that's my name on it. And someone could be, well, I know people have looked things up. I won't say the circumstances. I'm talking about outside off this platform. Yeah. And now my name, and it is my name, is attached to a lawsuit. And I filed the lawsuit. I did. But the record is being written. It is. And as much as there are, certain things that I would like to respond to, even my own filings, I have to just, remember that and stick to, you know, just, stick to my argument that is, that can be tested. That's the word. Because at some point, if this case continues and moves forward, at some point, these arguments will be tested. I mean, really tested, I think. Yeah. Just because things have been written and sworn to, and yes, when something is, sworn to, it's taken as, truth. But at some point, I think, specific allegations that I've made, they will be tested, like evidence. Though I'm providing that, in exhibits and that, there no doubt, I think, will be, questions. So then everything that I say in my filings, I keep all of that in mind. And because it's myself too, it's how I'm going to be. Because I do, I haven't listened. Let's see. Hang on. Let's see if I got. I was going to say, I haven't listened to the transcript of, you know what? I don't even know if we can listen to it. we can read it. I'm talking about Smith versus Robertson. So where I was going is when Miss Smith was in the hearing, she had to raise her hand and swear. And the judge asked her numerous questions. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. At some point, I'm sure I'll be asked questions by the court directly. Test it. And so it's important to me to, things that might end up uh, being filed. I don't know if, you know, what might come up, but I do know how I want to be represented and how I represent myself. And yeah, so, um, yeah. Well, 30 minutes. See how that goes? It's 11 o'clock or just after 11 o'clock. Let me look at some of your comments and read them. Uh, there's the email. Now, wait a minute. I do see an email. Huh. Okay. All right, so I'll start at the top and welcome others to the Bear Cave. Let's see. Dee Dee Fox for the Reckoning says, hello, Unwind with Teddy. I'm here. Well, I'm glad that you're here and welcome back. Uh, V Love, Teddy and Chat, Juju and Vicky. Hey, always appreciate your support, V Love. Thank you so much. Good evening, Secret. Yeah. Did you enjoy that music we were playing the other day? That was my kind of music. It was. It was. you know, I have other channels, Run Tell That Too. And I have D for Daniel. And I was just thinking the other day, what am I going to do really with each of those channels? Because Run Tell That Too, how could I divide everything up? And then, um, take Unwind with Teddy and just, you know, go into a different direction here with, again, my platform with music and ASMR, or any of, something in that direction. And then maybe move everything that's DR to D for Daniel, and then other, um, we'll say, mess if I do it, over to run till that too. Then, or like, videos, maybe not as much live, but I didn't know like which one do I want to, maybe reserve that it will be mostly, um, uploads of videos that I could create, and then, but I'm thinking of different things. But I love music, and I love, relaxing and unwind. That's what this channel is supposed to be about. you know, Night talk, and maybe, get back to some other topics. Yeah, meant for this, channel. hmm But I'm glad you enjoyed the music. I did. Please remember to hit the like. Thank you. And female. Hey, hello, hello, hello. Juju. Yeah, thanks so much for supporting us right here in, all of you, the honey bears and the grizzlies on this channel. Baby Juju, one of our moderators, says it was an eye opener. In other ways, yeah, we can learn things. Dee Dee, you are, I think that's a very peaceful, loving person. I understand that I like both of you and just want y'all to be at peace if possible. In Jesus' name, I accept. I do. There is a scripture that says God is not the author of confusion. So I need to keep that in mind for myself. Um, Good evening, Bush babies. Uh, Wherever you are, whoever you are. Wow, that's pretty big. We haven't had one in a long time here. Are you talking about an earthquake? As I talked about that. That's the thing I can thinking that you must be referring to something big like Mother Nature or something. Correct me if, that's where my mind went to. If you're talking to me, I think. Love 777 says, "Hey Teddy mods and chat. Hello, good evening." And to Vicky, my other moderator, thank you for supporting us, the Grizzlies, and the Honey Bears, and Unwind with Teddy. Appreciate you. Yeah, always considerate. Thank you. God bless you, Teddy. Yeah. Thank you. Just saw North California had a 5.6 magnitude. Lots of tremors out there. People in California, when they get something like 5.6, if they've been living there that long, I've heard some people interview like, okay, I felt that one. Yeah, I guess it depends on how deep it goes. Different types of earthquakes. Even a minimal earthquake can do a lot of damage. Yeah. Vicky. if sad, and I have witnessed. Yeah, you're talking about, I think, health issue, maybe seeing someone experience a crisis. Yeah. Thank you. Awesome. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And you learn people's true colors. Just my opinion. You do. Makeup Diva Curls. Welcome back. Says, hey, Teddy. Hey, chat. I'm in the bushes as always, nodding off. Yes, someone told me that I can run them to sleep, put them to sleep. Well, maybe that's what I should do. ASMR for sleep talk. Okay. And other things. Um, good evening. Let's see, Juju. Confirmation and validation is always nice. Well, it is. It is. It was awesome. I think you're talking about the music. Yeah. Some good lyrics, good music, all of that. That always helps. No music tonight, though, yet, but it always helps. Music would be nice so I can listen to it while I work. You work nights. All right. So, kind of that soft rock, easy listening, adult R&B, I think it's called. It's kind of like different versions of it. I'm sure you know who Delilah is, right? Oh, and I used to listen to Delilah. She would come on, I think, for about 4 hours from 6 until 10. I think that was the time, or maybe later, but for 4 hours. Yeah. And she would take she would talk, she would take dedications, like music, and open up her phone lines, and people would ask Delilah questions, and especially um, people who, like you, work at night and would enjoy listening to talk and music. Yeah. 10 o'clock for night talk, I think, would be a good time. I'm looking at the time, keeping that in mind. It's 11:14. And the movies and story. Yeah. I love movies. I do. And I love old movies and, some recent, of course. Uh, but to play movies, certain ones you can play, if they're dated before a certain year, yeah, that don't have copyright. If you play any movies on YouTube, of course, even if they're copyright, um, you have to do it in such a way that you make sure you pause it often, give commentary, and make it transformative. Because some people do commentary over movies and show clips. Yeah. You're in Cali. All right. So earthquake. All right. That means it's early where you are. 8 o'clock. 8:15. All right. Oh, Vicky says I'm near you. Secret. Oregon. I've never been to Oregon. Wow. Okay. So so the time for you isn't that the same like a Pacific time zone? Oregon, I think. Hmm. D4. Night shift. Ingo Rose, celebrate me. That's it. That's all. Oh, you mean the a song? Yeah, Annette, you always have great requests. Yeah, that's nice. Like in the old days, so we used to call into the radio station. Yeah, remember that? Remember that? It's not. It's not. It's really not like it used to be. Not exactly. It was a big deal, to call into a radio station, and more people could do it. I don't know how often it's done now. I mean, it's done. Um, but yeah, I remember trying to make a request. 8:16 now. All right. Evening, Annette. All right, that kind of takes us down to the bottom of our of the chat. Hang on. Yeah, Delilah. And Delilah has such a beautiful voice. She does. Yeah, Delilah. Anything else before I say good night here in a few minutes? Any questions? Other comments? Secret. It was exciting because he would talk to the DJ that you were here every day. He was like a star. Yeah. Yeah, the DJ. The old saying, you have face for radio. Well, there are some DJs, women and men, that um, they would look good on camera or off camera. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh. Check the community wall for updates and any changes to my schedule. I guess I should. Let me see if I can click over to set up music so I can play an outro. Let's do this. And there we go. Let's remove this. All right. Now, wait a minute. That's the. All right. I think that'll do it for me. Let's see if we can play. Let's go to something nice. Anyone have a request? Secret? Anyone? Annette? I can play it now. Let's see if I can move this over. Yeah. Biggest bear hugs go out to all the grizzlies and the honey bears. Please hit the like on your way out and join me sometime tomorrow. Thank you, everyone, for dropping by the Bear Cave and supporting Unwind with Teddy. Great live and commentary. Good night, Teddy and Mom. So let's see what I can play. I'm looking up something by Phyllis Hyman. If Annette is there, like, which one is it? Uh, oh, that would be a good one. Now, is everyone doing Midnight at the Oasis? Let's see. I want to get the correct artist. Oh, wait a minute. Let me look it up another way. I see it, but all these other artists are coming up. That, that must have been by Maria Mulder. Yes, I think so. Let's see if this is the one. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Teddy. Good night.